give it up for Andy.
Thank you, Jeff. In a nutshell, that was me. But it came to a screeching halt about 5.5 years ago, when I was at the pinnacle of one of my businesses on the verge of going national through one of the largest franchise companies in the world. After 9 months of working out the details, I got struck by one of two body blows. I developed a condition like overnight that almost paralyzed me. I couldn't walk. I was in a wheelchair for 9 months. And then, that was the good part. Then I got really struck with the right hook. I developed, in a 1 in a million chance, a deadly bacteria in my lung. And it should have killed me. The CDC says 90% of the people who have what I have die. The day I got out of the hospital, by the grace of God, I lived. And the day I got out of the hospital, I retired. That was in 2016. Now, I had a boatload of experience, 4 different businesses I thought up, marketed, and ended up selling them. But the first 2 years after I got out of the hospital is a blur. I was in a lot of pain. The medications were not figured out yet. And I was recovering from a bacteria that depleted my body of everything. I couldn't walk for almost 2 years. The third year, I started getting better. And started just, while I was in bed, basically, at home, I studied more of what I was doing. I researched, did a lot of things. And the fourth year, which was like 1.5 years ago, I decided, you know what, I think I can do something again. But what it came to is I don't want to own a business and run a business anymore. I want to teach what I've learned and teach specifically the small business owners, the independent agents. And what I specialize in is marketing, but marketing yourself and marketing your business through not only traditional, but guerrilla marketing. Now the big question is, what is guerrilla marketing? Anybody want to take a stab at it? Does anybody know what guerrilla marketing is? Okay. Guerrilla marketing was coined back in the early 80s, and it was coined after the guerrilla warfare that was made popular term during the Vietnam War. It's very tactical. Didn't use traditional because traditional marketing is basically a situation where you got to spend a lot of money because you're on the airwaves, and TV and radio is very expensive. So guerrilla marketing became more popular because it's more tactical. And I get very, very specific of what I teach. I teach the 5 components of guerrilla marketing. So guerrilla marketing in its very basic form is where you would use tactics in tapping into emotions, senses, dimensions, anchors, and most of all, you tap into a mindset. So guerrilla marketing is a mindset. It's not just, here, do this, think up this genius thing. It's not about that. It's about tapping into whatever of those components suits your business. For example, I'm going to pass this out. I use this in my own. And I guarantee one thing, you'll never forget the name of my business. And I did a talk 5 years ago, and a young lady who was an agent, I think she was a real estate agent, came up to me 3 years later and said, you know what? You were absolutely right. She says, I never forget the name of your business. It's just a tactic. And this is a very simple one. What I did was tap into what sense? Touch. What does touch have to do with guerrilla marketing? Well, now you know. This is genuine, full gorilla fur. Just one of the tactics. Now, I use another tactic in my name. My company name is this Big Guerrilla Marketing Group. And it's guerrilla marketing is not spelled obviously like a gorilla. So it's like the Geico Gecko type thing. Is another tactic that I use in my own business to make you remember my name. And that's basically the bottom line of any marketing is establishing an identity. That's what marketing is for. That's the very basic what you do in marketing. So how do you do that? How do you compete against the big guys, the big competitors you might have? Because they have a lot of money. They can plaster all their name tons of times on TV and radio, and that's how they get you to remember. And that's what you're trying to do is get people to remember. I worked for 20 years as a senior manager for a company some of you may know called New York Carpet World. They were the leaders in carpet in the nation. They were the biggest privately owned carpet company. And what was their forte was their advertising. They made it sound like everything in the world was on sale every time, every day, and they would change the sale every 3 days. And so something was always on sale. They were the leaders. They plastered. They had a lot of money to do that. Well, as an independent agent or a small business owner, you don't have that kind of cash laying around, which is one of the biggest mistakes is for any small business, either a startup, is they underplan their marketing strategy and they underfund it. If they fund it at all, they'll spend a lot of money on equipment or inventory or office or storefronts, that type of thing, and then when it comes to marketing, they don't have any money left. That's a common problem. I know this because United Senior Resources had over 400 businesses as a part of my organization, and most of them were small businesses. And they were the big boys. We had the Zigglers and the Prudentials and all that kind of stuff, but a lot of them were small businesses. So it was a common problem. How do you solve that? If you don't have a budget to compete with everybody, because you got to have a long-term strategy. Using having a business card or a sign and counting on friends and family to get you through, that might last a couple months, but you got to have a long-term strategy of marketing, and that's where guerrilla marketing comes in. I analyze, when I work with the businesses, I analyze what have they been doing and everything about their business. First, to get a mindset. Second is to see which of these anchors, emotions, senses that they would tap into to make people remember you. And that's what it's all about. That's what I teach. I love teaching that. Now, my shortcomings right now, because I've been out of action for 6 years, obviously, is the tech. I'm not up to snuff on my tech part, my social media, that type thing. So that's where my weakness is at. I haven't spoken in front of anybody in 6 years. So I would count that as a little bit of a weakness. And then my biggest challenge is to get in front of businesses, to do a mini seminar of what they would be learning at my actual seminar. And my actual seminar, the first one is scheduled. First one I've done in 6 years. It's July 19th. It's going to be at the varsity clubs. I will teach an hour and a half, exactly step by step, how one would establish some guerrilla marketing for their own business. And it's a process. It's not something you can go out and bam, you're all set up. It doesn't work that way. It's a process, and it takes a bit of thought to get it going. But I teach you all everything you need to know and how to establish that. I need to get in front of people. I need to speak in front of, do a little seminar. It's usually about 20 minutes where I would give them nuggets of what they would be learning. And so getting in front of people is the other challenge I have. Now, talking about marketing yourself is really important because you are the best salesperson in your business, regardless if you're a salesperson or not. If you're a plumber starting a plumbing business, all you know is plumbing, guess what? You are now the best salesperson in your organization. So it makes sense, the better you are, the better your business is going to be. So it also makes sense that you should spend a little bit of time learning how to make that better, and that's what I'm good at. I also have a sales seminar coming up. I haven't scheduled that yet. I'm still working on the finishing touches of the sales seminar. I've been a top-tier salesperson in 4 different industries. I do it uniquely. I do it against what everybody else teaches you. And I always the first thing I say is, I've never used a closing statement on anybody. I don't believe in them. I believe if you're trying to close somebody and trying to slam them into something, you failed somewhere along the ways. And I never did fail at that because I realized in the beginning of my sales career that the beginning of the sale, where you first meet somebody, in the first 3 minutes determines the rest of the sale. And whether you might be good at closing, slamming people in, I don't believe in that. I actually want to help the person with exactly what they need, and the only way you can do that is the process that I have developed. It's unique. I've been told it's very unique by almost every senior manager I've ever worked under. Said, we can't figure out what you're doing. You never have a closing statement. How are you writing these people up all the time? You're the top salesperson and we want to know. And for a long time, I didn't really think about it. I just did it. But anyways, it's a seminar that will teach you exactly what I did and how to do it and how it pertained to other industries. I had a friend of mine that he was young, very young, and this is like 30 years ago. And I taught him everything I knew, and he was great. And I got shipped and promoted, but he stayed back and he was a top-tier salesperson. And then he went into the auto industry and just excelled like crazy. He was one of the top managers in Kalamazoo, in the state. His dealership, he was the manager of it. 5 years ago, he came to visit me, and he told me, he says, you know what? He says, I never did thank you for teaching me 30 years ago, 25 years ago, how you did things. He says, I brought it to the car industry, and that's why I'm so successful. I said, really? He says, yeah. He said, you're the only one that's ever taught me how to do something, and it goes against everybody else's. And he says, I just wanted to thank you. He's one of my best friends now, but I never knew that. I mean, I just taught him, and I knew just thought he was just good. No, he said he used my techniques, and he never did thank me. I said, well, that's kind of good to know. They work. I have done every industry. But in a nutshell, I just want to teach. I want to give back. That's all I want to do is give back. Whether it's a sales force or the entrepreneurs excite me. I've always been one myself, and I look out here, and the beauty of this group is the fact that you're all entrepreneurs and going for it, and stepping out and going through some of the struggles that everybody goes through to do something better for your life and your family. I love that. That excites me, and that's why I want to give back. So basically, that's all I got to say. If any questions, I'd be glad to take them.
What's the date of your event?
Oh, it's July 19th, 9 o'clock a.m. at the Varsity Clubs.
What's the cost?
$49. It's about an hour and a half. Light breakfast will be served. Oh, he said, okay. John wanted to know what date the seminar was, and it's July 19th, 9 o'clock a.m. at the Varsity Clubs. I'm sorry? Yeah, I'm working on that. I'm actually meeting with getting all the graphics done, and there's a RSVP that'll be necessary to do that. That's what I'm getting designed. This weekend I'm meeting with a graphic artist. I'm kind of getting it all together real quick. But I decided, if I keep putting it off, I'm just going to book it. You know, it gives me like a month and a half to get everything done. And I should have everything done in the next week or two, and plenty of time to RSVP and that type of thing. So.
When a small business signs up with you, what is kind of the process? Do they meet with you once a week, or do they just have you at their disposal? Do they meet with other activities, or?
Okay. Basically, there's a couple of packages. I keep forgetting that. She wanted to know the process when I meet with a company and they want me to help them develop some marketing techniques in to pertain to their business. The process, I have a couple of packages. Matter of fact, those who go to the seminar, one person will draw the card and one person will win a 2-hour session that I will meet with them personally at their business and kind of go over what some of their needs are and how I can help them. Now, but if they, beyond that 2 hour, and they said, you know, I really need some more help, I got a situation here that would help me. I got a 3-hour package, I have a 2-day package, and I have a week-long package where I meet every day. And it's usually a couple, 3 hours a day. But the 3-hour package, we'd sit down, we analyze what you're doing, how we can change things, how we can move into guerrilla marketing, some ideas, and kind of analyze the entire, like I said, it's a mindset. So the mindset is first. You got to think that every part of your business, whether it's the person answering the phone, the delivery person, the warehouse person, whatever your situation is, whether it's a storefront or a service business, every aspect of your business needs to be on the same page, mindset of marketing. And I help you with that and suggestions, that type of thing.
You said a part of your business, or a part of things that you're trying to work out now is tech. What platforms are you trying to get on and promote?
Okay. He asked what type of platforms, working on the tech of my business. Actually, I'm just now starting to get into stuff. I mean, my social media is I have a page, Big Guerrilla Marketing Group page, but I haven't really updated it. I'm far behind on what is my capabilities. I haven't developed any other ones yet that I should, maybe Instagram or that type of thing. It's a Facebook page, Big Guerrilla Marketing Group, and you'll show it up there. But I lack in that greatly. I'd like to develop that better. Yes, Jeff?
So you are talking about growth tactics and custom marketing. As small business owners, what are the 3 easiest and simple and most effective tactics that any business can do just to get started in growth marketing?
Very good question. What are the the easiest that a small business can start right now using guerrilla marketing tactics? It all starts with the mindset. And just an example. First of all, guerrilla marketing is using what you have, because we're assuming that the budget is low, and so you look around and see what you have. If you have somebody answering the phones, what are they saying? What are they doing? You know how that the fast food industry is famous for this. You go and you order a hamburger, and what do they say? You want fries with that. That's actually a tactic of guerrilla marketing. You're basically doing suggestive. But every person, everything, if I step into your place of business, whether it's a storefront or an office, what do I see the second I step into there? Is it conducive? Does it say something about your name? There are a lot of offices that you can't even find the name of the business, and that's bad. A sign and your name of the business is really important. I always go back to a Steve Martin bit where he asked you, where would you rather put your money? First National Trust of Indiana or Fred's Bank? And it's obvious. I always thought that was funny, but it's so true. And just your name of the business is huge. So if it's on and you're proud of it, and you've got it looking good as soon as somebody steps in there. Because the whole object of marketing is to establish an identity, and the only way you can do this is have people remember your name. Because they may not need your service now, but 3 months from now, they say, oh gosh, yeah, what was the name of it? I need that. Oh, it's this name, because it was all over the place. That's one of the easiest ones, to make sure when somebody steps in your business that they know you want their business, and they know that you want them to remember your name, because that's the whole bit of it. The people that involved in your, are they conducive to wanting, getting business for you? Even answering the phone is a very minute thing, but it can be very effective if they answer it properly. Not, hey, where can I direct your call? That's, how many times have you heard that? That's not conducive. If they had something better to say or something, it doesn't have to be cheesy. I know some of these places, do you want our special today? That's how they answer the phone. So, that's a little bit cheesy. But, you get the idea. Answering the phone is one. Now, here's my, just to answer this question, when I first started in sales, I was, to be honest with you, I looked like a piece of garbage. I mean, I was young, I was 25, I didn't know how to dress. I had, the Kmart pants, a sock tie, and I was overweight by 51 pounds. I know that because I went to a clinic and I lost 51 pounds and I looked like so I get there but I could sell. So I quickly became the #1 salesperson, but I thought, I want more than that. I want people to know me as a standout. So what I did is I set goals. I have a slideshow being worked on that shows exactly the first suit that I ever bought. It was at an upscale place in Kalamazoo, and I had the best looking tie there was. I said, you know what, I can only control so much. I'm gonna go and get a clinic. I had my company borrow money. I borrowed from them. I said, I need $250 to go to a weight loss clinic. And they said, sure. I was the #1 salesperson. What did they say? No. So I did. I lost the 51 pounds, and I had the goal. I had to be this weight, and I'm gonna go out and buy a brand new suit. And I had the manager help me, because he knew the guy. He dressed really well. So I got a brand new suit, and it looked really good. I actually got it on my phone, too, right now. But anyways, I set goals because that's the only thing I control. Then I got the nice haircut. Then I became known as the best dressed person in the company. And the owner of the company, a multimillionaire, looked forward to every manager meeting just to see what I wore. And he'd come up to me, open my suit, and he's got a $2,000 suit, and he likes what I wear. I set a goal for myself to do that, because I can control what I look like and what people perceive me as. I always told a kid, somebody said, oh, whoa, how do I know it's you? I said, well, I'm tall, dark, and handsome. Except I'm not too tall, not real dark, and my wife's the only one who thinks I'm handsome. So, but I said, you'll know me when you see me, and they did.
What can this community do to help support you in your efforts to move forward?
Well, moving forward to me is getting in front of more people. More organizations, I should say. I mean, I like speaking in front of realtor groups because they seem to be all over the place from their background. They all have one thing in common: they're in real estate, but they have no idea how to market themselves. And it's so important how to market yourself. One example: there was a lady, I believe she's out of California. This is about 20 years ago. She always wore these interesting hats. She was kind of an elderly lady, but she wore interesting hats, and it kind of caught on to where she was known as the Hat Lady, a multi-gazillionaire as far as real estate success, but she was always known as the Hat Lady. She just took one of her assets that she liked and exploited it, and made sure she had a different hat every day. Things like that. Thank you.
One thing I would like to ask Andy to do is to message me or email me your link to the registration page, and we can put that out in a newsletter, right, Meg? Okay, so we'll put that out in a newsletter so people can do it. Did you say that was $4,900? Okay, how much is it? $49 for a one-day seminar on guerrilla marketing at the Varsity Club, July 19th, okay? So we look forward to getting that information from you soon. Now, we have some events that are coming up in the community. Megan's gonna have to help me with these events. This Saturday, Toccoa Coffee, my company, will be at Car Guys and Coffee in OC.